Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiti Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we're reading from Canto 1, Chapter 11. Chapter 11, titled Lord Krishna's Entrance into Dwarka. Reading from text 8 onwards. Aho sanatha bhavatasma yadvayam traivishtapānām api dūradarshanam premasmitah snigdhanirikṣhanānanam pashyema rūpam tava sarvasaubhagam. Oh, it's our good luck that we have come again today under your protection by your presence. For your lordship rarely visits even the denizens of heaven. Now it is possible for us to look into your smiling face, which is full of affectionate glances. We can now see your transcendental form full of all auspiciousness. So the residents of Dwarka, on seeing the Lord, they're so happy. They're so happy. They're saying it is our good luck that we have come again today under your protection by your presence. For your lordship rarely visits even the denizens of heaven. So even the denizens of heaven, the devatas, cannot see Krishna. So in case they want help in maintenance, they go to Shweta Dvipa, which is the Vaikuntha within the material world. Vaikuntha within the material world is called Shweta Dvipa, where Kshirodakashaya Vishnu resides. So it's an ocean of milk, and then there's an island in the middle of that ocean where the Lord is present. But he doesn't become visible to the Devatas. Many times he doesn't even become visible to Brahma. Actually, in the second and third canto, when creation is discussed, Brahma actually he does tapasya for 1,000 celestial years, and then he sees Vishnu, and Gopala Tapani Upanishad says that Brahma's life has two pararda. Pararda means halves. First half, second half. The first day of the second half, so he lives for 100 years. So after 50 years, so 51st year creation, Lord actually sees, Brahma actually sees Krishna. So Krishna is not to be seen by even great exalted demigods like Brahma. So we should understand the sadhana that we are doing. What is the result of the sadhana that we are doing? Who wants to share? I have discussed this before, but I want to just see if it is registered or not. What is the result of this sadhana that we are doing? What is the sadhana we are doing?
To remember the Lord
To remember the Lord.
at
But what
the
is the
time of
sadhana
our
we are doing? Yeah, okay, that is okay. To remember the Lord, okay. What is the result of our sadhana? What is the perfection of our sadhana?
To attain love for
To attain
God.
love, okay. And what does that mean? I mean, how does that manifest?
To
Or
go
what do we
back to
experience?
Godhead.
Go back to Godhead. Okay. Okay, so so you should all read this book called Madhurya Kadimbini. Okay, it's a must read. Vidwan Gauranga Prabhu says it's a must read. It was recommended by Srila Prabhupada. Madhurya Kadambini is written by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and it describes the progress of a devotee from Ado Shraddha, from the initial stage of Shraddha to Krishna Prema. And this is an integral part of, like I was saying, there's one chanting seminar that, some content that I prepared during Corona time, where this is the central part of that presentation. And it briefly describes what happens to one who reaches the stage of prema. So I've said multiple times that the goal of our sadhana is Krishna prema. Of course, since Sri Radhastami is coming, actually we have to change the goal. Anyway, so I'll discuss that. I'm Radharani willing. I'm planning to have 1 or 2 classes on Radhastami maybe next week. So anyway, for this discussion, we can say that the goal of our sadhana is Krishna prema. And the devotee who achieves the stage of Krishna prema in this very life, in this very body, which should have got completely spiritualized, the body of a pure devotee is completely spiritual. And that is the reason I keep saying that don't look at exalted Vaishnavas and talk on the platform of their body. It is an offense. It is an offense to look at the great Vaishnavas and Gurus on the material platform. So we should never pray for their body unless the Vaishnavas themselves have said. For example, Prabhupada, when he was unwell, he used to tell his disciples saying, you can pray that if Krishna wants, let me remain and continue to serve. But never was there a prayer done to fix the body. Never. We should never, because their body is not material at all. What are we praying for? It is completely spiritual and completely under the control of Krishna. So our prayer should just be, if Krishna wills, let that Vaishnava remain and guide us and shower his mercy on more fallen souls. Anyway, the point is that stage of Krishna Prema, the body of the devotee is completely spiritualized. So which means that he develops, his material coverings are destroyed. So he develops spiritual eyes, or his spiritual eyes manifest. His spiritual ears manifest, spiritual nose manifests, spiritual skin manifests, everything. Whole body becomes spiritual. And in that state, Krishna reveals himself to the devotee. Krishna reveals himself to the devotee. How does he reveal himself to the devotee? It says first he reveals himself to the eyes, which means the devotee can see the beautiful form of the Lord. They are saying here, now we can see your transcendental form. We can actually reach this stage, full of all auspiciousness. The stage of bhava, which is one stage before prema. There are 6 qualities describing it, and one of it is shubhada. Shubhada means giving all auspiciousness. So devotee can actually see the beautiful form of the Lord. He can smell the beautiful fragrance from the body of the Lord. He can hear the sound of the flute of the Lord. He can feel the touch of the Lord. All this a devotee experiences even in this world before quitting his material body. Before, like I said, body is already spiritualized. So before going through the process of quitting the body, which is just as a matter of fact, because everybody leaves their body, so a pure devotee also externally it looks like he's leaving his body, but his body is anyway already spiritual. So we can come to this stage which even devatas cannot achieve. And we can actually see this beautiful smiling face of Krishna. Krishna is full of affection. See, it says, which is full of affectionate glances. Krishna is full of affection for the fallen souls. And it is said, Shastra says that when a soul is very sincerely looking, trying to get Krishna, actually Krishna sends him to a guru. Actually, there's one beautiful book which everybody should read. It is called Shiksha Guru by His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj. Please read that book. It's available on Amazon. So it actually beautifully discusses total misconceptions that people have today about process of guru, selection of guru, understanding of who is a guru, what is the role of guru, who is a Shiksha Guru, who is a Diksha Guru. We have absolutely no idea. Unfortunately, the course that everybody has to do, what is that? Before one takes initiation.
IDC.
IDC.
ISKCON Disciple Course.
Disciple course. Thank you, Prabhu. The ISKCON Disciple course is not supposed to be done one day before initiation. The ISKCON Disciple course is to be done first day a devotee comes into ISKCON, or he becomes serious about pursuing, his future spiritual life in ISKCON. And it beautifully, delineates what actually is, who are these gurus, how do we recognize them, what is our response towards them, what is their response towards us. So these things are very important to be known, because actually when one is sincere, Krishna decides to take the devotee to a particular guru, right? It could be a Shiksha Guru, it could be a Diksha Guru. And we should not take this lightly. We should not take this lightly. We don't come in touch with devotees by chance. It doesn't happen by chance. It is a directive by Krishna. It's a directive by Krishna. And that's what happens to a sincere devotee who is eagerly searching for Krishna, who wants to achieve Krishna. So that is the first sign of mercy, affection that Krishna shows towards a sincere devotee, sincere soul, saying that go, get guided here. Because we cannot directly get guidance from Krishna, right? Krishna has given whatever he needs to say in his scriptures. So actually it is said that the basis for relationship for any spiritual relationship with the Guru is Shiksha. That's why we say Srila Prabhupada is the original Shiksha Guru and the main Shiksha Guru for everybody in ISKCON. And any relationship, Guru-disciple relationship, is based on Shiksha. Shiksha means instruction, means Shravanam. One should not try to develop a relationship with most devotees are so sentimental about this. So sentimental about this. It's not, we are not supposed to be looking at deciding Guru, etc. based on feelings. It's not feeling. Feeling will come together when we hear, when we get connected to the Vani of the Guru. So I tell everybody who come in touch with me saying that you can take initiation from anybody. I have absolute, because the whole process of spiritual life is to get connected to our eternal Guru. And we are not in the business of making disciples, right? We should not be in the business of making disciples for whoever. I mean, it might be because just because we are initiated from some Guru doesn't mean that the whole world has to be initiated from that Guru. So I tell everybody who come to me saying that here, before you decide, you have to get inspired by the Shravanam. Because Vapu, the spirit, the transcendental body of the spiritual master will not remain in front of us. So he will not be in front of us all the time to give us his instructions and his instructions come with us through his Vani. So even if he is not, if he becomes unmanifest, then from that point of time, our whole and soul guidance should be his Vani. But if you have never heard his Vani, if you have never been inspired by his Vani, if we are not ready to dedicate our life to his Vani, then what will happen if the Guru leaves this material world, which he will at some point of time. Every Guru has to leave. Nobody is going to be here permanent. And like Prabhupada said, I'm always there in my books. It's the same thing, that the Guru remains with the disciple through his Vani. And we have to get attached to the Vani of the Guru. And that is why it is said, actually, the whole process in ISKCON is haywire, right? Actually, it is said first we have to hear Srila Prabhupada for substantial amount of time till we actually understand what Prabhupada is speaking, because he is the Shiksha Guru. And once that is done, one has to embark on the process of selecting a Guru. There's a process of selection, right? And what is the process? How does that process happen? By Shravanam. So one will decide to hear from maybe 1, 2, 3 Gurus based on some criteria. We should have some criteria for initiation. We should have some criteria. And it's a process. It's a bona fide process. It is recommended that one goes through this process, right? And then when we do Shravanam, then the second person that one should hear is the process of selecting a Guru, right? It could be a Shiksha Guru or it could be a Diksha Guru, but who is authentic. But there should be only one, not multiple, especially at that point of time in the initial days, right? And ideally, we have to hear from the different Diksha Gurus, potential Diksha Gurus, because the original Shiksha has to come from the Diksha Guru. The original Shiksha has to come from the Diksha Guru. So once we hear from these various Diksha Gurus, then we will feel connection. We'll feel, oh, I feel very drawn to this person's words, to what he's saying, what is his approach towards bhakti, what is his dedication, how he is dedicated to Srila Prabhupada's mission. And we have to get connected through Shravanam. And the connection should be so deep that if the Guru is saying in a lecture, saying that you have to distribute 100,000 books, we should think, okay, this is an instruction for me. First time when Prabhupada went to, Abhay Charan with Naren, they went to meet this sadhu. He was just a sadhu, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And as soon as they saw, as he saw them, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, you are young, educated Indians. Why don't you preach the message of Lord Chaitanya in the Western world? That was his general comment. Right, and then Prabhupada, this was his first meeting, and after that, it was not again reiterated, but Prabhupada just kept this in his mind, saying that, and after that first meeting only, mentally he accepted Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as his guru, and then subsequently he's prepared for 70 years to follow that instruction of going to the Western world and preaching. He never gave it up. It might look like it took a long time, but he never gave it up. That is the power of Shravanam. This is how we have to do Shravanam. Not like we hear words of Guru from one ear and leave it from the other ear. That means that we are not surrendered to the Vani. Vani is not different from Vapu. Vani is not different from Vapu. And this is the way we have to go through spiritual life. And this is the mercy that Krishna gives, that he sends us through. And when do we hear from other people? After this, when we see an alignment between the person from whom we are hearing and our Diksha Guru, then we can hear from another person. And today it's become like a fad, like, internet is full of lectures and people are just hopping from one famous speaker to another famous speaker. I mean, this is not recommended at all. You'd be surprised to hear in the last 13, 14 years of my spiritual life, I have not heard more than from 3 people consistently. Actually, 2 only. 1 person on and off. That's it. All my Shravanam is Prabhupada, mostly Prabhupada's books, and my Guru Maharaj. That's it. Right? Because there is no need to go and hear from so many people out there, because that's not the recommended process. And even the process of Shiksha Guru is one who is aligned to the Diksha Guru can become a Shiksha Guru. Right? So anyway, the point about affection, and that for a sincere devotee, Krishna shows this is the affection Krishna is showing by taking us to a Guru. And we should take it seriously. And of course, I mean, this beautiful smiling face of Krishna Prabhupada in this purport. So Prabhupada is, he said they can stand on the shore of Shvetadvipa and offer prayers. So mostly the focus is that one cannot see Krishna. It's very, very rare. And so we are so fortunate that we have come in touch with Srila Prabhupada and our Acharyas and Gaudiya Parampara. I mean, each of these words actually hold me, push me in a different direction to speak some things. Right, like Gaudiya Parampara. When we say Parampara, it's so unfortunate that today we are not sticking to our Parampara at all. We have no understanding of the seriousness of Parampara. We do all kinds of things. We hear from all people. People say, Prabhupada said that we should not even hear from sadhus from Vrindavan. He said we should not hear from other sadhus unless they have come from Parampara. Because Parampara has a mood of service. Now, you please tell me how many Paramparas, what is our Parampara? So we are stuck today, okay? We're not going to proceed till we understand this. What is our Parampara? What is our Parampara teaching us? What is our Parampara called? Okay, let me start with a simple question. What is our Parampara called?
Brahma.
Gaudiya Brahma.
Okay, one at a time. Okay. Brahma.
Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Gaudiya Sampradaya. So basically we have to call ourselves as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, right? What is the meaning of Gaudiya?
Radha and Krishna.
Gaudiya means Radha. And when Radha is there, there is Krishna. There's nothing else. This is Gaudiya. Now if you go to Madhva, for them it is Krishna. It's not Radha. If you go to Vallabha Sampradaya, though actually they also have Radha and Krishna, but they still worship Laddu Gopal. And in Laddu Gopal, actually there is no Radha. Laddu Gopal is Yashoda and Krishna. But Gaudiya is Radha and Krishna. So can somebody tell me, saying that why we don't say Radhe Radhe or Jai Shri Radhe, and why we say Hare Krishna? Can somebody say? Can somebody answer this? And this is the reason why Prabhupada was never favoring this Radhe Radhe business. If even in Vrindavan, if Brajavasis used to tell him Radhe Radhe. He used to say Hare Krishna. Why? Why?
Because the right to call Radhe is only with Krishna, and we are not eligible to
Mm,
even call the name of Radha in that way.
mm,
And we worship Krishna because Krishna gives us the right to go to Radha. So
okay. 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 Anybody else?
Even Radharani will be pleased by Krishna
Radharani will be pleased by Krishna, meaning?
by taking Krishna's name.
Okay. Okay. Now my question is, why are we not saying Radha Radha? Why are you saying Hare Krishna? हाँ.
प्रभु जी, क्योंकि हम हरे कृष्णा बोलते हैं तो हरे राधा है और कृष्णा है, दोनों ही प्रेजेंट होते हैं हरे कृष्ण।
लेकिन वो क्यों आवश्यक क्यों है? क्यों राधा क्यों नहीं? हरे हरे ही बोल सकते हैं हम. हरे कृष्णा क्यों?
हम दोनों को पूछते हैं ना, राधा रानी और कृष्ण भगवान को साथ में।
Okay, see, we should understand this. This is the deep truth of Gaudiya Parampara. The deep truth of Gaudiya Parampara is Krishna can have temporarily, as in Krishna he's playing various roles. Okay, so he's also, uh, he plays the roles of creation of this, creating this material world, and then he has to be in Vaikuntha. Then he also has to be in Dwarka, in Mathura. Krishna has various roles to play. And in some of these roles, Radharani is not present with him. Though he doesn't like it, but Radharani is not present with him. So Krishna somewhat can remain without Radharani, though fully pained, he cannot tolerate it, but obligated, because he is the Supreme Lord. So he is there, he goes to Mathura, he has to do all this kind of stuff, etc. Of course, I mean, he goes as Vasudeva Krishna, etc. But Radharani has no existence apart from Krishna. Her existence itself is to just please Krishna. So if we just say Radhe, Radhe, she's saying, no, I am incomplete. I can't exist without my Lord. So as soon as Krishna's name is followed, she is like happy. Krishna is there with me. So our mood is that we will never worship Radharani alone. We will never worship Krishna alone. We'll always worship Radha and Krishna, because Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the mood of Gaudiya Vaishnavas is to, what is our goal eventually? What did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said? Gopi Bhartur Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Anudasa. What does this mean? What does this mean? Why Gopi Bhartur? Why not Sakhya? Why not? Why Bhartu? Bhartu means husband, right? Why Gopi is husband? Why didn't Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refer Krishna as friend of Sridham or son of Yashoda? Yashoda Putra, Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Anudasa. Why not something like that? Why did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said Gopi Bhartu? Why that reference to Gopi? Because our role, our whole existence, Gaudiya Parampara, our job, our seva is to bring Radha and Krishna together. This is our job. This is what we will do when we go to the spiritual world, and this is what our existence is on. If that is what we are here for, then how can we worship Krishna alone? How can we worship Radha alone? How can we take their names alone? So please understand, these things are all so serious matters that hardly anybody speaks about these things, unfortunately, today in ISKCON. This is what we need to know. That is the reason why Parampara is so important. That is the reason why strictly following whatever process Prabhupada is given is so important. Because it will take us in this direction. It will take us in the proper direction. And only then we can see the smiling face of Krishna. And when is Krishna smiling? When Radharani is with him. Otherwise, Krishna is just pretending to be smiling. That's all. He is not really smiling. Krishna is Atma Rama. What does Atma Rama mean? What does Atma Rama mean?
Satisfied
within
within
himself.
Self-satisfied. Atma, self-satisfied. But that Krishna being Atma Rama is only in connection with this material world and maybe in Vaikuntha. But Krishna is absolutely not Atma Rama when he is in Goloka. See, these are the deep truths that we have to understand, and these truths are revealed in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Chaitanya Charitamrita we can digest only when we after we have digested Bhagavatam. Multiple times, if we read Bhagavatam, then we purify our existence, we do serious sadhana, then we can come to actually understanding Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is all about Radha Prema. It is about Prema of Radha towards Krishna, start to end. But we cannot reach there. We cannot come to that stage unless we follow the process. We have to follow the process. So then we can see the smiling face of Krishna. And as soon as we say we are seeing smiling face of Krishna, we are actually seeing the smiling face of Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is more affectionate than Krishna. More affectionate than Krishna. And she is the one who recommends us to Krishna. When initiation happens, it's Srimati Radharani who recommends to Krishna. Oh Krishna, this devotee is a better servant than me. He or she will serve you more nicely. Please accept. Krishna is saying, really? This devotee can serve better than you? Okay, Radharani, if you are saying, then I'll accept him. Accept her. So anyway, so just a little bit influenced by Sri Radhastami, but okay. Yarrambujakshapasasarabho bhavan kurun madhunvata suhrutti drikshaya tatrabdakoti pratima kshano bhavet ravim vinakshnorivanastavachyuta. O lotus-eyed Lord, lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavan or Hastinapur to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless as if bereft of sun. See, this verse looks like some nice sounding words. Okay, we'll come to Prabhupada's purport. So first is, lotus-eyed Lord. Sometimes, we become so used to hearing these kind of descriptions in Bhagavatam that we don't even reflect upon it. Just that lotus-eyed Lord should make us remember the beauty of Krishna's eyes. I've shown this before, but I think few devotees may have not been part of those classes. So I'm going to show you something. How does Krishna's eyes look? See, Krishna's eye looks like this. This is a better, actually, any of these. Right, like Krishna's eye is shaped like this. Long, broad, beautiful. This is lotus-eyed Lord. This is the beautiful. This is how Krishna's eyes are so beautiful. Lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavana, now, where does Krishna go to Vrindavana? The residents in Dwarka are saying when you go to Mathura, Vrindavana. But according to us, Krishna didn't go to Vrindavana at all, right? He came from Vrindavana. But here the residents of Dwarka are saying, you go away to Mathura, Vrindavana. You go away, meaning you keep going. Or Hastinapura to meet your friends and relatives. Whenever you go, meaning you keep going, whenever you go, every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that it's not that Krishna went to Vrindavan only once. used to go. That is because he made that promise to Rajavasis that I will come. So he went. He went. He also goes after he kills Tantavakra. Then he goes there only, and from there everybody goes to the spiritual world, to Goloka. Anyway, these are all secrets about the 10th canto, which we will come to when we come to the 10th canto, Krishna willing. So here is saying every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. This is to be the attachment we should develop towards Krishna, such that we cannot be without Krishna conscious activities. Forget about, like millions of years. I mean, even if that 1 second is equivalent to 1 second and we feel, oh, yo, I wasted 1 second without thinking about Krishna, that is good enough for us at our stage. I mean, that 1 second doesn't have to translate to millions of years for us at this stage, right? But even that one moment we lost being non-Krishna conscious should make us feel bad. Should make us feel things saying that, why did I waste that one moment? It is gone. It's not going to come back. There's no Krishna for that one moment. I was talking, thinking, doing some nonsense. Every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. This is the state we have to come to. And of course, initially we will not come directly to this platform. We will come to the platform of missing our Guru, missing great Vaishnavas. You should say, oh, I am not in touch with, my Guru. I'm not in touch with these Vaishnavas for so long. We should miss them. Then eventually we'll come to the stage of missing Krishna. Oh, infallible one. At that time, our eyes become useless as if bereft of sun. Eyes are useless without light. The Dwarkavasis are saying, if you are not there, then what is the use of our eyes? But we use our eyes. What is our problem? We use our eyes to do so many things which are not connected to Krishna. And we don't feel this. We don't feel bad. We don't feel sad. But my eyes, my ears, my whole body is being utilized, not for the pleasure of Krishna. This stage we have to reach. And Prabhupada in the purport says the devotees of the Lord can see everything in true perspective due to the light disseminated by Lord Krishna. By the grace of the Lord, the pure devotee cannot be in darkness of ignorance. Therefore, it is necessary that we must always be in the sight of the Lord, so that we can see both ourselves and the Lord with his different energies. So how do we always be in the sight of the Lord? By chanting Hare Krishna. By being in the association of devotees who always have Krishna in their sight. So association, Shravanam, Kirtanam is what will keep us in touch with the Lord. And when we are constantly in touch with the Lord, there is no chance of ignorance. There's no chance of darkness or ignorance. That means we will be in knowledge, we will be in light. Most of the times, in our lives, actually, when we are sitting in a class and when we are doing Shravanam or when we are really sitting and reading, and you say, okay, Prabhupada is saying, okay, Krishna is saying, okay, I'm not the body, I'm spiritual. Okay, all these things are there in the back of our minds. But when we leave the book and when we walk out and we enter, so till then we are in the spiritual world. As soon as we leave the book, we go out, we are back into the material surroundings and something happens. Right? Some conversation with somebody, some situation, body is troubling, mind is troubling, etc., etc. We just forget that I'm not the body. And we are completely drowned in the consciousness that I'm this body and this body is dear to me. And how can they say this, do that? We will have enmity on the material platform. We will blaspheme other people. We'll talk badly about them. We will feel bad about what they're saying, etc., etc., etc. All this is on the bodily platform. That is because we just lost touch with Krishna. As soon as we lose touch with Krishna, we fall into this material world. Krishna is infallible. We are totally fallible, right? He's Achyuta, we are Chuta. That is the reason why Prabhupada is saying that pure devotees never lose touch, never lose sight of the Lord. That is why in their hand, they always have the japa bag fixed Today we are shy of using the japa bag. Prabhupada, did we see Prabhupada ever using clicker? He never used clicker, right? None of those devotees in the initial days used clicker. They always had japa bag fixed in their hand. This clicker is also doesn't give us the required consciousness. It's better than not doing, but the best is to have a chanting bag in our hand. And that's the reason why we have that bag, na? See, if we are only chanting in the house, why do we need a bag? We can as well hold the mala in our hand and chant. But the whole idea of bag is carry it wherever you go. Oh, put your hands into the bag wherever you go. And that's the only way we can actually be in sight of the Lord, be in touch with the Lord. Otherwise, we'll simply forget. It's natural for us to forget. It's natural to fall back to the situation thinking that I am the body. It's a natural thing for us. So we should never be out of touch. We should always be in touch with Krishna. Katam vayam nath chiroshite tvai prasanna drishtyakhila tapashoshanam jivemate sundaraha sasovitam apashyamana vadanam manoharam iti chodirithi vacha prajanam bhaktavatsalaha shrunvano nugraham drishtya vitanvan pravishatpuram. Oh Master, if you live abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face, whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. Can we exist without your presence? Upon hearing their speeches, the Lord, who is very kind to the citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dwarka and acknowledged all their greetings by casting his transcendental glance over them. So beautiful. Just imagine, this is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. When we hear things like this and we think ourselves as being present in that situation where the great residents of Dwarka are offering their prayers, and then Krishna is casting his affectionate glance on all of them, and we can imagine, okay, maybe I am standing somewhere in the corner, looking at Krishna, doing this with his devotees. And this presence, this involvement in Shravanam is actually what will purify us. That is why we have to do Shravanam with full absorption. And that is why we have to preach. Because only when we preach, we actually go into the mood of what we are reading. So when I read this aloud, I'm literally, living those statements. And when I'm living those statements, then that connection comes, that attachment, those feelings, everything come when we actually make ourselves, when we really put ourselves in that, when we live what we are reading. See, when we cannot look at your attractive face. As soon as we see this, we have to remember, do I know how attractive Krishna's face is? I can't remember any description. No, we should remember the description. How attractive Krishna's face is. Can somebody describe Krishna's face? Ideally, we should know verses, but even I don't know the verses, but at least I know some basic description that we should suddenly remember. As soon as we think about Krishna's face, these things should come to our mind. What can come to our mind when we think about Krishna's face?
Neela Megha Shama.
Okay, Chiranjeev Prabhu. Yeah, Chiranjeev Prabhu, what are you saying?
Neela Megha Shama, Prabhu.
Okay, you're saying the color of his face.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, Ruchira Mataji.
Prabhuji, lotus eyes extending to his ears, and
Okay.
his lips are the color of bimba fruit.
Okay,
And,
very nice.
he's having the shark-shaped earrings in his ears.
Shark-shaped earrings. Yeah. Makara Kundala.
So,
Then
I don't remember that word. And
What else?
Kasturba gem, Srivasta
Okay,
cycle.
that's yeah, we are going slightly on the neck,
Okay,
etc.
that is
But
what
just
face.
this,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, just remain
And
on the
black curly
beautiful,
hair,
attractive face. Black curly hair,
black
oiled,
curly hair.
oiled, black curly hair. Okay, it's oiled.
Yes.
Okay,
They are clustered
then
like
a beautiful smile on Krishna's face, right? And Krishna has so many decorations on his face. You know, what do we do on Janmashtami? We put stall. What stall do we put? Gopi dots. Huh? So the sakhas of Krishna actually, when as soon as Krishna leaves his home, he is like dressed like a prince. His mother is like put Yashoda Mata is put like all ornaments, gold, and this and that and all that. And Krishna is not very happy with that. So as soon as he goes to Vrindavan, to the forest with his sakhas, what do the sakhas do? They take all those minerals, right? And they put all decoration around Krishna's face, around his eyes, like we see in Mayapur, right? Like beautifully, they've done some decoration around Krishna's eyes, right? So Krishna has, he has a raised nose, it is said, right? And his eyebrows actually take off the material lust. Mm. Uh, so such beautiful description about Krishna. As soon as we think attractive face, these things should come to our mind. Mm. And what is the color? I told this before also. What is Krishna's color? What is Krishna's color?
Color
Huh?
of Atasi flower.
Atasi flower. Atasi. We should always remember this. Mhm. Yeah. This we can take. This maybe. And this is the color. This is the color of Krishna. Right? So these things should be in our mind. This is mananam. This is nididhyasanam. This is dhyanam. Right? So as soon as we think, oh yeah, if we think about all this, we cannot look, we cannot take our thoughts away from this, from the beautiful face of Krishna. Well, I simply just remember Madhav, Radha Madhav. That's all. And I think about attractive face. That face is so attractive. You just think about Madhav, Radha Madhav. And whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. This is like we can experience this whenever we are in distress, anger, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Just, I mean, in my house, I have a big photo of Radha Madhav, and I simply stare. If I'm in too much of distress, I stare at Krishna's lotus feet. Sometimes I stare at his beautiful smiling face. If I'm just feeling sad about something, I just look at his beautiful smiling face, and literally we can get out of our sufferings. And we will see Krishna smiling at us, saying that, oh, why are you feeling sad? I'm here. How can we exist without your presence? Absolutely, we should reach this stage where we can not exist without Krishna. We cannot exist without Krishna. And when we express feelings like this, when we develop feelings like this, then Krishna is saying, oh, he's so kind to us. He'll be so kind to us. And then he will cast his transcendental glance over us. This is a reciprocation between a sincere, pure devotee and the Lord. And in this context, it is Dwaraka Vasis. But what do we learn from Bhagavatam? He's saying that if I also develop this kind of attraction to Krishna, then Krishna will cast his transcendental glance over me also. Simple thing. Right? And Krishna doesn't, we don't have to be some great exalted devotee, some big preacher, some, big person in ISKCON, some position. No, we can just be a simple devotee who is sweeping the floor of Krishna's temple. But if you have these feelings, Krishna will definitely look at us. Right? So there is nothing high or low in Krishna's service. Everything is transcendental. We should not think, oh, giving a class is higher than sweeping floor. No, in Krishna's view, it is the same. It is the same. There is no difference because everything is transcendental. See, Lord Krishna's attraction is so powerful that once being attracted by him, one cannot tolerate separation from him. Prabhupada is writing this in the purport. This is the attraction of Krishna one has to develop. And he's saying once being attracted, no, this is where our problem is. We are so attracted by material things that we don't want to let ourselves be even once attracted by Krishna. Because they're like, oh, no, no, no. They said, don't, Rupa Goswami said, don't look at this Tribangi Krishna who is standing under the Vamshivata and blowing his flute. If in case you're attached to material things, don't look at him. So we don't want to look at him. No, 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 it's okay, it's okay. You know, then he's going to kill all my material hankerings, my material, you know, I'm so happy materially. I have so many of these things that I want to do. I want to achieve this. I want to buy this. I want to do let me not look at Krishna. I don't want to get attracted. I'll wait for some more time. But really, if we let go of all these, you know, our false attachments that we have in this material world and just let ourselves, you know, drown in hearing about Krishna and getting attracted to him, we will reach a stage where we cannot tolerate separation from him, either in distress or happiness. It doesn't matter. The point is about not being separated from Krishna. If suppose we are in distress and we call out Krishna, that's fine. If you are in happiness, we call out Krishna, that's fine too. But when we get attracted to Krishna, then we just don't care whether we are in happiness or distress. We are simply attracted to him and we cannot stop thinking about him. I have not reached that stage, but I want to reach that stage. That's the beauty of Krishna consciousness, which we cannot get in any other process. It's so beautiful that, you know, irrespective of what our material situation is, we can be with Krishna all the time. Madhubhojadashar dasharharha kukurandhaka vrishnibihi atmatulya balair guptam nagair bhogavati miva. As Bhogavati, the capital of Nagaloka, is protected by Nagas, so was Dwarka protected by the descendants of Vrishni. These are all individuals. Bhoja, Madhu, Dasharha, Arha, Kukura, Andhaka, etc. were as strong as Lord Krishna. Okay, no comment here. Okay, we will do this. Maybe it will take 5 more minutes. Sarvartu sarva vibhava punya vriksha latashramaihi udyano ramair vruta padma karashriyam. The city of Dwarkapuri was filled with the opulences of all seasons. There were hermitages, orchards, flower gardens, parks, and reservoirs of water breeding lotus flowers all over. So Prabhupada is saying, so this verse describes natural beauty. Right. So Prabhupada is saying here that there is no mention of mills and factories supported by slaughterhouses, which are the necessary paraphernalia of the modern metropolis. The propensity to utilize nature's own gifts is still there, even in the heart of modern civilized men. The leaders of modern civilization select their own residential quarters in a place where there are such naturally beautiful gardens and reservoirs of water, but they leave the common man to reside in congested areas without parks and gardens. So this is natural for us. Advancement of civilization is estimated not on the growth of mills and factories to deteriorate the finer instincts of the human being, but on developing the potent spiritual instincts of human beings and giving them a chance to go back to Godhead. So Prabhupada was very much against these mills and factories. Development of factories and mills is called Ugra Karma or pungent activities. And such activities deteriorate the finer sentiments of human being and society to form a dungeon of demons. We find herein the mention of pious trees which produce seasonal flowers and fruits. The impious trees are useless jungles only, and they can only be used to supply fuels. In the modern civilization, such impious trees are planted on the sides of the roads. So Prabhupada is giving us a perspective of how we are far, far, far from this situation. Right? How our whole focus of life is around, just think, see, we cannot exist without factories today. We cannot exist without buying things from the shops with, and it just totally dependent on mills and factories. And Prabhupada is saying this is hellish, this is Ugra Karma. We should not encourage Ugra Karma. Ugra Karma means we are badly, deeply, adversely affected by sinful reactions, contributing to this economy. And that's the reality side of the current Kali Yuga, especially cities like Bangalore. Here, there's one beautiful thing, which I wanted to say is this opulence of all seasons. Actually, even Vrindavan has all seasons existing at the same time. All the 6 seasons exist at the same time. It's inconceivable for us, but anything is possible in Vrindavan. Each and every forest area, in each area there is a different season, Ritu. Right? And Krishna chooses based on his mood. He goes to different parts of these forests based on his mood. And that forest exactly gives the full experience of that particular season, with the type of flowers, fruits, trees, lakes, waters, presence of them, absence of them, whatever it is, gives full experience. All the ritus, all the seasons are waiting to serve Krishna, and they're eagerly looking forward to Krishna entering their forests. So this is the beauty of Vrindavan. Rajadham is inconceivable. I told some time back saying that there is nothing like dust in Vrindavan, in Rajadham. There is no tar road. Neither is there muddy road. What is the road made up of? Road is made up of rubies and, precious gems. Everything is made up of precious gems. So you don't walk on like land as such. And still there is description of saying stones, and gopis are worried, saying that those stones will hurt Krishna's soft lotus feet. But none of these are like material, not like what we think. That is why when we go to Vrindavan, Rajadam, we don't see Vrindavan around us. We see material. Our eyes can only see material things. So we see dust, we see, all kinds of things. But this is not Vrindavan. This is not Rajadam. There's a beautiful description of Rajadam. Acharyas have given this in various places, which is all Chintamani, full of precious gems. So we should not think, oh, Vrindavan is very simple village. Yeah, it's a village setting, but super opulent village, which is more opulent than Vaikuntha. That kind of a village it is. So again, Achintya, inconceivable. Okay, so we'll stop here. If anybody has any questions, we can discuss. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, like the Shwet we mentioned here in the material universe is the Dhruvlok planet.
Yeah, so there are a little bit confusion exists about that. In one purport, Prabhupada says Dhruvaloka is Shvetadvip. In in another description, it seems to be different. So I'm not completely clear because there's a little bit confusion. Yeah, there's a little bit confusion. I'm not exactly clear about that answer.
And Garbhodakshay Vishnu is at the bottom of the universe. No?
Yeah, Garbhodakashay Vishnu is at the bottom, below Patal Loka. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so please prepare consciousness for Sri Radhastami. Okay, we don't celebrate festivals by just coming to attend some temple program on that particular day, and that's not the end of the celebration. Actually, the celebration begins maybe 1 or 2 weeks before. Adivas is not actually previous day. Adivas is like whole maybe week running up to the festival, and then that effect should linger on right post the festival also. That's how we should actually celebrate festivals, and especially, I mean, for us, Janmashtami, Radhastami, Gaur Purnima, these should be full absorption, full absorption. So we should here read, but of course we should know where we stand, what is our qualification, what is our level of purity, to what information, what should I be reading, what I should not be reading. But we should try to build our consciousness to receive Srimati Radharani on that beautiful auspicious day. Okay, so like I said, maybe one class I will do on the Radhastami, which might be on, considering the festival is on Saturday, so we'll possibly do it on Friday. The Saturday anyway, devotees will have service and they'll come go to the temple, etc. So possibly Friday, maybe it might be a 1 hour or a slightly extended session in the morning. So maybe 8 to 9:30, based on how much we'll want to cover, we'll see. Right, but one day I'm wanting to glorify Srimati Radharani. Feel incomplete without doing that, so we should glorify Srimati Radharani to whatever extent our realization goes. So we'll do that. Yeah. Okay, so we'll close for today.